Looking at the warm-up, I don't see numbers and X's, right? I see symbols. So how do you know what are supposed to be numbers and what we assume would be X's? Where are you going to look? Yeah, down here at the bottom. The value of one of those is equivalent to the value of blank triangles. Well, if this is what I'm looking for, then what would we call that? Yeah, we would call that X, right? Okay, ready? Okay, so that's our unknown, and if that's our unknown, we would call that X, correct? So up here, we should label this. And then what would we call these? Yeah, we would call these ones, correct? So now, so what would you, if you were writing this as an equation, what would this be? 3x plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Let's say you didn't make that jump. How many of you did not go to this? You used a picture. Anybody use a picture? Nobody? Interesting. Okay. I was thinking about the picture. The picture would be like using what? Yeah, what are those called? Algebra tiles. That's right. Okay. So let's go ahead and solve it. What would we do? Minus x on both sides. And what did we get? 2x plus 2 equals 7. Then what? Minus 2, minus 2. So we get 2x equals 5. Then what? Divide by 2, divide by 2. So x equals 2.5, which was correct. Okay? Okay, so let me go ahead and say something about what we're doing today. If you notice, we're now solving equations where we have rational numbers, meaning fractions and decimals. So is that really going to change our process completely? No, it's just going to mean we're doing it with harder numbers, okay? So I have a predecessor to what we're actually going to do, and I'm asking you to find the least common denominator. So think back when we would add and subtract fractions. If I was doing 2/3 plus 3/4, what would the least common denominator be? 12, right? Yeah, because I could turn 3 into 12 by multiplying by 4, and I could turn 4 into 12 by multiplying by 3, correct? Okay, what about 2, 5, and 3? Somebody agree with that? That 15 is the least? No. Well, why not 15? Yeah, because 2 is not divisible into 15. So try again. What's it going to be? 30. Because what times 2 is 30? What times 6? I'm sorry, what times 5? 6. And what times 3? 10. Good. And then what would it be between 4 and 8? 8. Okay? One last thing here, just to make sure we're all speaking intelligently and not just saying, you know, that thing in front of the x, right? That's called the coefficient, the thing that's being multiplied by the x. The variable is the unknown, it's usually x. The operator just means what are we doing, adding and subtracting, and constants are just numbers. Every time, look y'all, every time I get down here, look what happens. I don't get it. Very, very strange. So, she did not write that here. Okay, now, we're going to get into this. Now, we're actually going to do something very interesting. All right, listen. I'm going to show you one way to do it, okay? We learn things about each other as teachers, especially when we have new people on a team. Miss Baylor, we're going to switch classes in a second, and she's going to come over here and show you a different way to do it than I am, okay? Just like I've said before, one way is not going to be better than another. Do you understand? It's just going to be different, okay? My way relies on my brain and my hand writing. Her way relies on the calculator, okay? And that probably goes to show you the difference in our ages. Back when I was in school, we didn't have a calculator like this to use, so we had to do it all by hand. So of course I learned shortcuts by hand, okay? And Miss Baylor's somewhat younger, so she probably grew up having calculator in classes, so she's going to show it to you that way, okay? However you want to do it. Everybody understand? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to cross that out just because I don't want to see it there. Y'all. It's still okay. My vote when I see a bunch of fractions is I
division by what would be the least common denominator, I will end up eliminating all my denominators. Okay, so first I just want you to watch. So keep your pencils down and just watch. And then we're going to do it again and you're going to write it with me. Everybody stand? Okay, so first of all, between 3, 2, 6, and 2, what would be the least common denominator? 6. So I'm going to put that out here. Remember, that number sitting out there means you're just watching, we're not writing. Means I'm multiplying everything by 6, right? So that means I have to multiply 6 times that. Well, that would be 6 times a third. Well, that would just be 6 over 3, which is what? 2. 2x. Perfect. Now I'm going to do 6 times a half. Well, what's half of 6? 3. Now I'm going to do 6 times 5, 6. Well, remember, this is really 6 over 1. So what's happening here? It's just really 5, just 5, right? I've eliminated that 6. Everybody see that? Okay. Minus. Now I'm going to do 6 times 5 over 2. Well, what's 6 times 5? 30 divided by 2 is what? 15. Now do we have an equation that we know how to work with? Yes. This is something familiar. So I just eliminated my fractions in the beginning. Does everybody see how I did that? Okay, now we're going to do it again, but this time you're going to do it. Ready? On your paper, okay? Because there's definitely value in doing it with me. So first, I put parentheses around the whole thing, and I figured out what to multiply the whole thing by, which was what? 6. Because that was my least common denominator, okay? Now, when I do 6 times 1 over 3, well, 6 times 1 is 6 divided by 3 is 2, but then don't forget your x, so 2x plus 6 times a half. What's 6 times a half? 3 equals 6 times 5, 30 divided by 6, 5, because those eliminated each other, 6 over 1, minus 6 times 5, 30 over 2, 15. And now you can go ahead and finish solving it yourself. So go ahead and do that. Did you guys get the x equals 6? Okay, let's do one more with me. You ready? Except I'm going to let y'all do most of the talking. Okay, so what would be the common denominator here? 4, exactly. So now what? Would be what? 3x, perfect. Now what? Would be good. Then what? Would be 2x, and then negative 16. And then we just solve from there. Good. All right. How are you feeling about that? Let's tell me where, if we're going to make a mistake, where might it be? Okay, so first, if you find the wrong least common multiple, right, that could be a problem. Okay, and then I saw somebody do this in the air. Yeah, what if you, like, forget to do one of these? Then it messed it up completely, right? And remember when we talked about just regular old distributive property? And I said a lot of times kids forget to do that second number. That's why I'm showing it on top every time to make sure that I hit all those numbers. Does that make sense? Okay, you ready to try one? Okay, you guys try that one on your own. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start working. My common denominator between 8 and 5 would be 40. Yeah, I don't really have a good one. So 40 times x would be 40x. 40 times 1/5, well, that would be 40 over 5, which is minus 8. And then this would be 40 times 7. I don't really want to do that, but I'm going to think about it like this. and then that's 35x. Okay, did everybody get that?
Yeah.
Okay, no? Where'd we go wrong?
That makes sense. I got minus 100 equals 180.
But 5 is in the denominator. So this would be 40 over 5, not 40 times 5. It's 40 times 1 over 5. So then that's where I got that 8, okay? Now, I know I'm supposed to pick on the little guy, but what if I do that, then I'm going to have what?
Zero.
Nothing over here. So instead, I'm going to do this one. So I have negative 8 equals negative 5x divided by negative 5 divided by negative 5. X equals 8 bits. Do you guys get that?
Yep.
Did y'all get 8 bits? No?
Yeah, 1.6. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 bits. Right. Okay, so we're going to pause here. Miss Taylor's going to come over. So just pause. Okay, so on D, which by the way, if you're just tuning in, you can look and see Miss Taylor's work. She did not record the video. So go ahead and take a look and see how she did it without eliminating the denominator. On D, what we have now is the distributive property. So basically, I'm still going to do the same way, and then you're going to see something that happens kind of different. Okay? So my common denominator will be what? Here we go. So the common denominator between 2 and 6 would be 6. But guess what? I am only needing to distribute it to that, because that is going to distribute to that in a second. I'm just going to distribute my 6 to the coefficients. So 6 times 3 would be 18 over 2 would be 9. So just that piece brings everything else down. 6 times 1/6 would be
1.
1. So I can just bring that down. Now what would we do? Yeah, I got rid of my denominator, so now I can just do this, which would be 27x and 9 times negative 1. Negative 9, 7x plus 11. You see, now we're back to a regular old equation. I was able to eliminate my fractions way back in the beginning. Guys, there's a reason why we put a big challenge star on this. This is not going to be tested for you. This is next year stuff, but I figured I would expose you to it. Okay, so we would subtract 7x, add 9, no, next like algebra. I got x equals 1. It's equal, my mark says stop. Did everybody get that? All right. Now. All right. So now, look what we have now. What do you see? Decimals. Okay. Decimals are a lot easier to work with. However, if you wanted to eliminate them in the first place, we could. How can we eliminate decimals? That would be harder, huh? Oh, really? How are we going to convert 2/3 into a decimal? It's repeating. See, that's why. But that's exactly why. That's why, because that one's going to be a repeating decimal, and it's going to you can't use that one. But these are now terminating decimals, so I can keep them as decimals and just multiply life as decimals. But what if I wanted to eliminate them?
Multiply by 10.
Yes, I can multiply by a power of 10. It might be 10 or it might be bigger than that, depending on how much I need to move it. So what I do is I look and see how far I need to move them. And all of them, it was just one place, right? So what's it called? What am I going to multiply if I'm only moving one place? 10. So I'm going to multiply everything by 10. So by doing that, I now have 12x plus 10. 8x plus 34. Do you guys see? And now you're just at a regular old equation that you know how to solve. Yes?
Wow, that's so easy.
Okay. Let's look at B. To eliminate my decimals, what would I need to multiply by? 100 this time, because my biggest one over here has 2 places, so I gotta multiply everything by 100. So for here, that's just gonna end up being what? 248 minus, what's this gonna be?
100x.
100x, which I know looks weird. And then
104.
104 plus
20x.
20x. And then we would solve from there, okay? Or your other option, I'm gonna erase this. Okay, and you don't have to write this if you don't want to. I'm just gonna erase because I can. And I'm gonna finish solving, but with decimals, okay? But I can't easily because I have a calculator. But can you see how, remember when I started by saying, because I'm little and we didn't have calculators, we didn't want to deal with them? I could have solved that other problem a lot easier without the decimals, but now that I have decimals, it's become a little bit harder. So, go ahead and finish solving it your way, and I'm gonna solve it with decimals. Yeah. Did you guys get the x equals 6? Yeah. You still get x equals 6. It was just that in here and this one, these were easy decimals, okay, so I can still do it in my head. But soon, like over here, these numbers are going to be harder in hundreds place. So I just wanted to show you, honestly, you can do it both ways. It's your choice. Okay? All right, how about you guys try, how about just A? Okay? Just do A, pause the video if you're at home.
Click on number A.
Y'all get x equals 3?
Yeah.
Why don't you do this? Take these
Done
long.
yet.
I was gonna say I started way after you. Alright, try me. Try me.
Oh, come on.
You will be. That's why we're getting there.
What happens if the class 163 after 438?
Hey, look, my calculator turns off.
Calculator, turn on. Oh, come on.
Finally.
What did you get? Okay, if you get some horrible number like that, chances are you did something wrong. Like, do you know what I'm saying? You should be like, wait, where did I go wrong? So, let me finish this one and then we'll.
Oh my. That little calculator. You remember that little calculator, huh?
So I'll get -2. Okay, let's go back to here. So Maddie, did you eliminate or did you guys on this? Guys, I can't hear. Did you multiply everything by 10 to get rid of the decimals, or did you keep the decimals and work with them? Okay, when I multiply by 10, then I moved, and so this was 50x minus 64 equals 5x plus 71. Did you get that one? Okay, so let's go back to there. So now, what would we do next? Okay, and then 71 plus 64, I get 135. But did you write it all out? So that's the perfect time when I would be looking, which I did. Some people yesterday on the test, I was like, where did this come from? Okay, all right, guys, I need to press record so people at home can check. Oh, it was recording. Great. I didn't do recording. No worries. Okay, guys, does anybody have a question? There's a lot of little steps and little places to make a mistake, and that's why it's so important for us to be able to follow step by step by step, okay? Yesterday, on the test, when I was grading, I did a lot of that. That means I can't follow, okay? And I was trying to help you and find points, but if I was like, where did you go wrong? I couldn't follow it, so I put it right there, okay? All right, you guys, the back page. If there's only 6 problems, that is your homework, and y'all still have 10 minutes, but you can get it done, or at least most of that, okay?
以后我穿好听了。